15 safest disaster-proof places to live. Welcome to Talltanic. I'm Wacky Universe, here with another video. You could live in the safest country or neighborhood in the world, but sometimes outer forces may require a little more than that. No matter if the world outside is crumbling due to extreme weather or any other event, here's a few of the safest homes to be in when it rains, floods, storms, or for when you need a house to hide in while society rebuilds itself. 15. The safest castle in New York. New York City is full of huge houses and apartments that could be palaces in themselves. However, for this one, we're going a little upstate to Amsterdam, New York, where you'll find the Amsterdam Castle, also known as the Amsterdam Armory. This red brick castle measures at 36,000 square feet, or 3,300 meters squared. Inside, you'll find over 50 rooms, as well as a rifle range, a fallout shelter, a tank garage, and a 10,000 square foot, or 930 meter squared gymnasium. Built in 1895 by Isaac G. Perry, the armory used to belong to the National Guard, but became decommissioned by 1994. In 1995, the Diana family purchased the home, and then in 2005, it was resold to the Vermeister family, who then started renovation on the castle. 14. The forest in the city. 2 skyscrapers in the city of Milan were completed by 2014, an endeavor started by Stefano Boeri and his studio. These skyscrapers, known as Bosco Verticale, or the vertical forest, were a way to have a high-density residential building, as well as an area wherein many trees could be planted. It's called sustainable residential architecture, done as a way to increase biodiversity in an urban area. This high-rise forested apartment building features over 20,000 plants to improve air quality. Trees act as natural absorbents for carbon dioxide, turning it into oxygen. The design of a high-rise structure also aimed to reduce urban expansion, so that less land needed to be used for bigger populations. 13. Roundhouses of the future. Who knew that houses could withstand the blizzards of Russia would be in the shape of small domes that measure between 34 meters squared to 300 meters squared? Russian-based company Skydome created homes that have curved walls, which allows for less heat loss and therefore gives the homeowners better energy efficiency. These homes can hold more than 1,500 pounds of snow per square meter. The company used 95% natural materials to build the homes. They can withstand magnitude 7 earthquakes and come in 6 different models. 12. The Super Adobe houses. A new way of creating strong, environmentally friendly houses comes in the form of sandbags. That doesn't sound so stable, but that's what the California Institute of Earth Architecture, also known as CalEarth, claims with their product known as Super Adobe. This form of adobe comes in long sandbags. Using these bags, barbed wire, and just a handful of other materials, people were able to build traditional earth architecture that can withstand severe earthquakes. Moistened earth fill these sandbags and get arranged in coils to make dome-shaped houses. Cement may be used as a stabilizer, but these structures stay intact with very little reinforcement. In the city of Hesperia, California, tests were conducted to see just how much this type of housing can endure. It was discovered that Super Adobe can withstand twice the weight it would take to crush a house with a pitched roof. 11. A self-sustaining island. One of the best places you can be when the world is falling apart is your own island. This little house can be found on the slightly bigger island called Sister Rock. It may not look like much from all the way up at this angle, but this house went on sale last year for $16 million. You can find this Bahamian-style home in Marathon, part of the Florida Keys. This private island measures at 1.5 acres and has a 1.2-acre house that acts as self-sufficient, which it'll need to be for its location. The house has a concrete block construction as well as a full basement. It also features storm doors and storm windows. It is entirely powered by just solar and wind energy. If you don't feel like shelling out millions of dollars, then you can also find shelter by renting it out for a week for $7,000 to $9,000. 10. The Ophir House. This house, located in Christchurch, New Zealand, was rebuilt after the original house succumbed to the 2012 Canterbury earthquake. In 2015, the homeowners were given a much stronger house this time, one that can withstand earthquakes. The group, Architects Creative, built the Ophir, a one-story home that was sculpted from raw materials that include concrete, timber, and steel that was refined. It was also designed to let in as much light as possible. Its position makes it perfect for being protected against prevailing winds. 9. The Fortress in Florida. And most of us thought you needed to travel to Europe to live in the sort of castles you see in the Disney movies. This fortress home, known as Chateau Artisan, can be found in Miami, Florida of all places. Not only was it enough that a castle this big can be found in a big city, but water surrounds it, meaning you'll need access to the moat to get there in the first place. Chateau Artisan went on the market in 2013 for $10.9 million and measures at 19,222 square feet that sits on 14 acres of land. It has 3 stories, 8 bedrooms, and 8 bathrooms, as well as its own lake. It also comes with a full house generator in case of hurricanes. Architect Charles Seeger was behind the construction of the house and drew inspiration from 17th century French architectural style. 8. The Hamptons Beach House. It seems concrete is the way to go if you want to make your home as indestructible as possible. The company Amet Plum Architects designed the Hamptons Beach House to be made with concrete boxes in order to uphold its structure during natural disasters. Although the Hamptons has a reputation for being a place where the rich live in beachside luxury, there's always the concern for severe weather hitting the coast. The architects set out to have a place that had a great view of the ocean, but also provides robust protection. These boxes made of concrete make for a stable shell that got covered with sturdy materials such as limestone, mahogany, and stainless steel. The house lets in lots of light, and water jet cut screens move through the house, giving off cool shadow patterns, but also help protect the windows from hurricane winds. 7. The Wolftrap Lighthouse. Near the west shore of Chesapeake Bay, Virginia, you'll find an old lighthouse that can also be one of the safest places to be during a disaster. The Wolftrap, a caisson lighthouse, has been around since 1894 and remains in the water. The original construction made it so that it would remain intact despite the cold weather and ice. In 2005, it was bought for $75,000 by a lighthouse enthusiast that then turned it into a bed and breakfast. In 2012, it would be put up for sale again at a price of $288,000. In addition to being strong enough to withstand severe weather and being isolated from humanity, should you need to be, it's also said to be quite cozy. 6. The Mysterious Cabin in Iceland. In an archipelago off the coast of Iceland, you'll find this solitary house on the island of Elliðaey. You can barely see it in photos since the land around this little white house is an expansive green. The island itself has an interesting history, with 5 families inhabiting the area about 300 years ago. By the mid-20th century, most of the residents left, though this house you see was built in 1953 by the Elliðaey Hunting Association and was meant to be a hunting lodge. There was talk once that it belonged to Björk, though that turned out to be just hearsay. If you need a place to run away, should society collapse into itself, this zero-population island may be the perfect place to hide out. 5. The Tsunami House. Architecture company Designs Northwest came up with the design and then built a house that they say would be able to make it through the most extreme weather. They ended up making the Tsunami House. The house itself measures at 3,149 meters squared. The main level has an area of 887 square feet and was made to be 5 feet above the grade so that the foundations could stay intact if strong tsunami waves made it to shore. The lower level was made with walls that can break away if a storm came. While being so sturdy, the architects also made sure that the durable materials would also require very little maintenance. 4. No flooding in the floodplain. Being near the Mississippi is a known place for its excessive flooding, and so those that live and work in the area know the risks involved when it comes to the floodplains. During flooding season, everything can be submerged in water. However, there are a few homes in the area that have their own levees that surround the properties, like this house in Vicksburg, Mississippi, which keeps the water from affecting the land and home. This photo was taken in 2011, where the water reached 56.3 feet high. 3. The Dome of a Home. We've already talked about how dome houses seem to be some of the smartest kind of housing there is when it comes to disaster-proof homes. And this house in Pensacola Beach, Florida can attest to that claim. Known as Dome of a Home, this monolithic dome home has made appearances on TV and is available for rent. It got famous not only for its strange design, but also for its durability. See, hurricanes have hit the area loads since the building of this house, and it seems the building stayed standing while the other homes around it had been damaged due to the weather conditions. 2. Through Wind and Fire. It may not look like much, but this house on Casaba Island, South Carolina, was made to make it through different kinds of disasters. The house measures at 3,888 square feet and sits on a raised foundation. Parky City built the house, which more than meets the requirements for FEMA's flood zone rules. The steel structure and steel exterior helps it stay fire resistant and able to endure winds that can reach 140 miles per hour. It also has insulated storm doors and shutters so as to retain heat and minimize temperature drop. As for that raised foundation, its height does not allow for floods to affect the house. 1. The safe house. And then we come to number 1, the safest house of all these safe houses. Actually named the Safe House, architect Robert Konieczny built the house to be able to withstand all sorts of disasters, natural or societal. It's been hailed as the safest house you can be in the event of a zombie apocalypse and was completed in 2011. This house, located in Warsaw, Poland, can transform this more open housing area to a boxed-in fortress. The walls can automatically slide back into the house. The windows get covered with huge blocks, and a huge screen covers the entirety of the glass windows and doors below. If you liked that video, check out more on my channel, Wacky Universe, right over here. I'll see you guys next week.